Greetings in the name of Yahuwah and His Son Yahushua HaMashiach. My name is Malak Shalomo, and I'm going to do a trade recap on my trade today on ES. Today is the 28th of February 2023. The time is approximately 10:26 a.m. 10:30 is going to be the initial balance, setting of the initial balance high and low of the first hour of trading. So I'm actually done with my trading already, so let me just jump into how I got into my trades and some of the news that came out today. You can see we have some news here. Retail inventories ex autos month over month, wholesale inventories, goods trade balance, red book, S&P K Schiller home price, S&P K Schiller home price again. That was month over month. This one, the first one, this one is year over year. Then we have house price index year over year, and house price index month over month. So those came out today. I think it encouraged some selling today. So let's jump into the chart here. All right, so at let's see, that's 8:58. But let's jump over to bookmap for a second first. All right, so looking at bookmap here around, let's say 7:26 and around 8 o'clock right here, right? So you can see we got up to this level here at approximately 4002.25, and that's actually a Camarilla R3 level. So this level here was actually one of my my entry points, right? But it was in the ETH, so I was kind of thinking to myself, should I enter around here? Should I enter in the ETH because it's at my level, right? But we haven't opened yet. It's not the RTH open yet, so I was contemplating whether I should enter at that level or not. So eventually I did after some confirmation though. So let me just switch over to trading view so I could show you where I marked up my charts and stuff like that. Right, so this right here, that's Camarilla R3, right? And you see I have it labeled here, resistance zone Camarilla R3, overlapping higher value day in a downtrend, looking for resistance here, right? So you can see this is where price came up to, broke above it a little bit, and this was all in the ETH around 8 o'clock, right? So we broke above, pulled back a little bit, and retested it again, right? So let's see here. So just showing you some planning of where I actually wanted to enter the trade, right? So let's see here, go back to my trading platform. Right, so the first entry was at approximately 8:58, and it was at 3994.50, right? So let me pull this back a little bit. So you see we almost, well, on this chart the R3, the Camarillas are a little different. So I use Quantum Trading's Camarilla setup. So this one is a little different. This one is kind of generic. The Camarillas on this one, let me just pull this up, it's a little more dynamic, right? So if you all want to check out that, check out Quantum Trading Indicators, quantumtrading.com, and you can check out to get Camarillas, right? Let's see here, go back to the platform, and let me go back to bookmap to show you what I was looking at to get into this trade. Right, so we came up to Camarilla R3, right? This was also the overnight high at this level right here around, let's see, around 4004, right? Roughly, probably like 4350, right? So when we got up to this level here, this was my entry level. I was contemplating entering in the ETH, but I didn't really want to do that. I wanted to wait for like the RTH open, but then I saw like, you know, price was actually getting away from the actual entry level. So I decided to, as I showed you on this my trading platform, I only took one contract, so just like a little nibble to see if price would continue into the RTH, right? So came back here, retest, right? Broke down again, and I watched it break down, right? And then it retested this area right here. So this is where I got in around 394.50 is when it retested this area here. You see that's the money zone, upper puck, and the pivot level. So let me switch back over to TradingView to show you how I label that and what that means, right? So this right here, let me just turn this on, turn off the Camarillas and put this on, and the money zone, right? So you see these two levels are lined up here. This is the upper puck. Let me just point this out, right? So that red line right there is the upper puck, and the blue line is the pivot level from the floor central pivots, right? So anything with a double pivot with it, which incorporates the pivot level, like this upper puck and the pivot level, is a golden pivot zone, right? So anything around this area is heavy support or heavy resistance, depending on where price is. If price is above, then it's support. If price is below, like it's coming from below, that's going to be resistance, right? So you see we got the resistance there, and that was my entry. So we had the breakdown, right? So I watched it break down and pull back to my level to get an entry, right? So I wasn't chasing price, I was just waiting for it to get to certain levels that make sense to me, right? Or that's within my strategy. So right, so took this this order, this sell order right here at 3994.50. so let's go back to bookmap. My second order was 3991.50, so let's see how that transpired here. Right, so this was the retest, 399450. Took an entry right around here, just above VWAP, right? And then we moved across. We had this big dip down right here. So my entry, my second entry was 399150. So let's see where that was. So at 912, so let's see here, 912. So approximately here was my entry on the second one, right? So when it broke above, it broke down, retest this area, which I should have probably caught this one as the entry, but I was a little late. So 399150, that was my entry right there. And I think it was a pullback, right? Let me open it a little bit. So this is where we broke down to. When we popped back up a little bit, that's when I took this this short entry right here. So it's basically kind of testing this area where we broke down from, right? So let's see, make this a little tighter. Let's see where my next entry was at 398750. So let me just switch over here so you can see that. Right, so this was the second entry, the third entry right here at 924 at 3987.50. Right, so let's go over to bookmap and see what I was looking at. 398750 at 924. Right, so it's another breakdown and pop-up. From what I could see here, let's see, 398750. Right, so we had this breakdown here, we had this auction. So we're moving down. Let me just show this properly. Right, so we're breaking down for my second entry. We had this sideways movement, nice little auction right here. We had the breakdown and then the pop back up at 8750. That's where I entered again on the retest of this breakdown level right here. So let me highlight that. This was the auction level. And let's see, around right here was the retest. That's where I entered 398750. Right, so I'm entering on the pullbacks. Let's see, my next entry was alright, so I had a bunch of entries, like 4 other entries adding to the position at around 932. So let's move across here. So we're breaking down, right? Had the retest, moving sideways again on the after this breakdown lower. Came down to around 3986. Move sideways, had that breakdown again to around 398575. And I entered at, let's see what time, 9:32. So let's see here. Right, so around this area here where we started getting this pop-ups and stuff, I entered at let's see, let me show you that. Right, so this was 4 entries right here at this level, right? Let me just point that out. Right, so that's 4 entries right there. And these are the entries right here, right? So we have one at 3983, 3982.25, 3981.75, 3981.50. Right, so let's go over to bookmap and see what that's looking like over here. Right, so the first one, 3983. Let's see where that was. This is 3983, 3983. Where is that? Where is that? It's somewhere around here. I entered somewhere around here. It's around 932. So let's see here. So that 2-minute chart is showing something it's a little different when you're looking at the price chart compared to bookmap. Not that it's different, but the way it's set up is right. So this is the entry right here at 3983. Right, this is the entry right here, right? So after we popped up here, caught this right here as the first entry. Then the second one was 398225. So this is like a pop-up of this area right here, right? So somewhere around here, right? Then the next one was 3981.75. Let's see here, because I know I was taking these these retests. So let's see here, 398175, right? So somewhere around here, right, on one of these pop-ups. And then the last one was 398150. So it was basically these retests after we break down here. I was entering these positions in this little kind of auction, right? And then we had the breakdown of that level. Let's see here, the low of that was like 3980, broke down from there, right? Price is moving down nicely. Let's see, right? So we had a nice little kind of sideways but downward movement until we broke this level here at 39, approximately, let's say 3977, right? So let's see, I entered another bunch of positions right here. Let me go to my trading platform. Now let me just explain this one here, this sell right here at 938, right? So let me just find that on Bookmap. All right, so I was actually trying to create another one of these orders right here, where I was trying to take profit at S3, right? So when I actually wanted to set that up, I changed my mind and I was like, okay, I'm gonna just manage just manually. I'm not gonna just set up like a buy stop order, right? Now, when I set this up, it stayed in this area right here, right? So if you don't switch back over to my original entries where I was just taking one entry, it actually switched over to taking 4 entries, right? Now, I didn't remember to move this back to taking 1 entry. So when I took this extra sell right here, right, which was at 938, let me see, 938, 937 roughly, at let's see, 3978.50. Let's see here on Bookmap. So it's around this level right here, right, where I entered again when we broke down, had this retest, right? So we pushed up to VWAP, broke down, retest this level. That's when I entered short here again, right? So my intention was to enter one more contract, but it entered 4 contracts, right? So at that point, I stopped out at 398025. All right, so let me find that here. You see how price was moving back, 398025. Entered short here at 397850. And then when it popped up to 3980, let me find that. Yeah, so around here we started having this big selling, and that's when I realized like I'm actually in 4 contracts, right? So that kind of tore into my my take profit a little bit, my P&L. So I only ended up with this right here. So it kind of cut down. I think it cut down like about maybe 25% or 30%, some roughly somewhere around there. So that was a mistake right there, where I took too much of a size, where I was just trying to add to the position just one contract, right? So as soon as I realized that, I just stopped out all of the position. And let's see, from there price basically just rose against me, so it was a good stop out anyway. We moved back up to the golden pivot zone, which is around here, this MZ upper and the pivot level. Started to sell off again, broke down past VWAP, came down here to 3979 and just basically moving sideways. Yeah, this is current price action right now. So we're basically just rotating around this POC area right here, right at around like 3985. So let me just show you something on trading view here. This is why I'm not taking any more trades. And I know this chart is a little messy, but this is my analysis chart, and I just leave everything on this chart, you know, like I have a cleaner version, but today you're getting a messy version. So just looking at this profile here, this volume profile, right, from yesterday. Or let me just take everything else off. Right, so it's just the drawings and the profile, right? So yesterday's volume profile, you can see it mapped out here, and today's volume profile, price is basically still within the value area of like especially this one here in the ETH, right? And it's still within this value area here, so it's at the bottom of this value area, but it's still within value. So I'm looking at it as, you can see, like price action is just rotating around like this VPOC here, right? So we're just basically getting a rotation, and it's a high value node, high volume node, right? So you can see how high this volume is in this area, and price is just rotating right around here. So what could possibly happen is we get a double distribution day where price actually picks a side it wants to go to, and I'm leaning towards probably going down to these levels here. I believe this is Camarilla S3 right here, and this is the money zone value area low, right around these levels. So I'm not really too enthusiastic to really wait on price to find a direction, you know what I'm saying? I already have a green day entered in the ETH, and this is good enough for me. I don't have to chase anymore, you know what I'm saying? So yesterday was a great day, and today is kind of like I don't know, right now it's setting up like a double distribution day where price is basically just ranging a little bit in the open, right? The first hour of trading, we're just kind of ranging here. So I'm expecting it to probably break out in one of these directions. You know, it's either gonna break higher. Let's see here. Right, it's either gonna break higher, break the golden pivot zone, probably head up to like R3 and these levels again. There's also a VPOC level right here, probably of the prior day. Let me just see where that's coming from. Right, so this is a prior day VPOC, so it might come back to that level, check that level, or it might try to seek some lower value, right? This is also a pivot level right here, the Camarilla. Yeah, I believe this is, let me turn it on. Right, so that's S4 Camarilla right there. It's in a higher value day, and if it does come down to this level, this is a heavy support area right here, you know. So I think it's lining up with, let's see here, right, with floor pivot S1, right? So if price does break down, this is a good target to come to, and it'll probably go past Camarilla S3, which is at 3973.75. And these are not trade recommendations. This is just my humble opinion, you know. And I'm new to trading the MES or the ES futures, so you know, you don't have to take my word for it. This is just me doing my thing, you know what I mean, planning out my strategies and stuff. And then everybody has to do that on their own. You have to build your own strategies and your own playbook. So I'm just going with the Camarilla pivots, the floor pivots, and the money zone. And that's my strategies where I enter trades. Like I had this retest here on the golden pivot zone, which is lining up with, let me go back over here. You see I have them mapped out in bookmap here. This is the money zone upper puck and the pivot level. Two of them in the same area is creating that golden pivot zone. And that's where price retest right there for me to get my first entry, right? So I was contemplating adding to the, well, jumping back into the position here when it came back and slightly just underneath, like it just came back and retested this area, not really getting to it. So I was kind of patient. I was waiting for it to actually get to that level. So that's why I didn't enter this short right here, you know. Yeah, and that's my trades today, man. That's my breakdown on my thought process. That's my playbooks. Rejection at certain pivot levels. Took the breakdown in the RTH on the retest of the golden pivot zone, which was the money zone upper puck and the pivot level, and got a nice move. I believe it was something like, I think it was a 20-some point move or 20-some ticks. Yeah, I think it was 20-some ticks. Let me see here. Let me see some real quick. I don't have the exact entries right here, but let's see roughly what it was. Yeah, it was about 20 points somewhere. I exited. Okay, so I exit at 3981. Right, so I ended up with 14 points, right? So nothing too crazy, you know. It was a nice trading day though. I enjoyed trying to test out entering in the ETH. All right, y'all, it's Malak Shalomo, and y'all trade safe and stay blessed.